I'm Jennifer Edens. Welcome to Spotlight on Schools. Most of you have probably heard the story of Megan Faircloth, the Eastwake High School student who faced homelessness in her junior year and came out of it with a scholarship to Stanford. I was lucky enough to teach Megan in my final year of teaching, and she sat down with us recently for a one-on-one conversation about how she persevered.
Megan Page Faircloth.
What do you think sharing your story will accomplish, or what do you hope it accomplishes?
When we were homeless, sometimes it was difficult to speak to others about it because there is a stigma behind it and there's a lot of shame associated with it. So I wanted to kind of, by saying it so openly, being so open about it, I wanted to kind of break down some of the stigma, because if no one talks about these kind of issues, and if everyone's ashamed of sharing, then nothing's going to be done about them in our world. And I also wanted to give people the confidence and the courage to believe in themselves and to get up when they fail, because every day is kind of a second chance. Every day that you're alive is a second chance to learn from your mistakes and to keep going.
You talked about completing your homework in public parks, in the car, and in the rain. So what kept you going during that time?
My education was, we were losing so many of our, I lost my clothes and we lost our house, and we were losing so much, but my education was always something that I felt like I had no matter what, and it was a part of my identity. And I didn't want to, during those moments, I didn't want to relinquish it because it was a part of who I was, and it was something that I feel like I created, and that was something, I don't think I could have bared to have lost that at that time. And I didn't want to be victimized by my situation either, and so I was like, this is my education, this belongs to me, and I'm not going to let anyone take it away. I wasn't going to apply to Stanford because I just honestly thought that the chance of me getting into a college like that was unrealistic. But my older sister, before we got evicted from our house, we got a letter in the mail from Stanford saying they were interested in me, and my sister was like, you should totally do this, you should totally go for it. So when we were going through all of our troubles, I kind of kept that letter with me, and it reminded me, someone out there, you have a future, because apparently Stanford's interested in you.
In your speech, you talk about inspirational quotes from Louis Zamperini, Sia, and even Gloria Gaynor, the I Will Survive quote. So how did those, and I think you mentioned you wrote them on your book back, how did those quotes kind of help sustain you during your most difficult times?
When I didn't feel like I was strong enough, I kind of tried to borrow other people's courage. I tried to convince myself, you are Louis Zamperini, or you are these people, just trying to borrow strength from other people if I didn't feel like I had it. Me and my sisters and my mom, we always tried to keep everything, we always tried to find something humorous. One time we were in the car and our car got towed while we were sleeping in it. So there's just little things like that. We always try to keep it lighthearted, and whenever one of us was feeling like we were on the edge of going to a really dark place, one of us would always pick the other back up, and that was really nice.
You still came to class every day with a willingness to learn. You stayed so humble, and you had such a humility about the fact that your work was exceptional. It didn't even faze you. How do you maintain that?
I think I have strengths and weaknesses academically, just like any other student. And whenever you set a high goal or you have a dream, you always fail. And I think I've probably failed at my goals just as much as I've succeeded at them. So that's kind of a humbling process, because if you're the kind of person that has an ego about things, and if you view failure as something that's an insult against you, then people that freeze up and they don't continue and they don't fight. But I try to embrace failure.
When you were, going through your most difficult times, what did you learn about yourself?
We learned a little bit beforehand that we were when it was leading up to the eviction, I was afraid of losing the house and I was afraid of losing the things I have. But after losing all of that, I realized how much I could live without it. And I learned how much strength I had in me that I didn't know I had. I didn't know that I could push myself, and I thought it would be impossible to pick up failing grades and turn them into A's. But I learned just what was inside of me.
Megan's story is very inspirational because when students overcome that much, it's hard to focus on academics in school when you're trying to figure out where your next meal is going to come, where I'm going to stay. And while it's not in the realm of a teenager to think about those things, it's in your mind. One thing that kind of connects to me that made me feel proud as a principal, she said school was her safe haven. It's really the kind of environment and culture I really want to create here at Eastwake, and that touched me more than anything that she had a safe place to come, and EastWake was that place. My hat is off to her, because as an adult, I don't know if I would have been able to be that strong going through those challenges and able to persevere like she did.
No matter what it is, it's going to be okay, because I can feel like I can genuinely say that now. After going through everything and losing a lot, I feel like it's going to be okay. You know, I'm not afraid of like most things anymore.
Megan's story is a truly inspirational one, especially for teachers. You never know who's sitting in your classroom and what they may be facing. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Spotlight on Schools.